What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Revolution. So today we jump in for Prepare for the Darkness event. Basically, it's Dark Domain Part 2 we're preparing for. So greetings, agents. This is the Marvel Future Revolution team. The primary Earth is in jeopardy once again. We're ready to restore some peace, and let's jump right back into these details. So if you logged in at this point, you will notice that there's a number of events currently going on. Basically, let's take a look at those events. Pretty easy to run down. We're finishing out our 14 days of gifts, and then we roll into our Prepare for Darkness event. So right now, you'll notice that there are these ominous particles that you're going to basically be collecting from doing the same type of events that we were doing before for previous events that were the same. You know, this one has purchase items from the shop now, though, 1, 2, 3 times, 5 times. We'll get into that conversation here in a second, though, right? So purchase items from the shop, defeat villains, dismantle items, complete blitz, training ground for 120 minutes, and by doing that, you're going to collect these ominous particles. We still have the New Year's weekly event that has reset, so make sure you jump inside there because these are pretty damn good token rewards in general. Then we have the training magic upgrade event that's still going on as well if you haven't completed it for some reason, and this is going to be the crafting. Before we jump into that, though, we're going to be able to see that the training ground extra reward event has changed, so we're not getting the hero supply boxes anymore. Now we're going to be getting the companion XP card boxes and then Omega companion shard boxes inside the training ground. So you definitely want to jump in there to start grabbing those items and farm those. This is a good time right now as any to use any of those tickets that you have stored and saved up. The Blitz event, basically once a day, just one count, that's it. You're going to be able to collect the ominous particles. Special operations, the same thing, some more ominous particles here. Then they have the raid. We're going to be able to collect ominous particles from there as well. So across the events, basically, you're going to be able to collect these ominous particles, and what they're going to be able to do is trade these inside the crafting workshop event that's over here. Just go to the workshop, and then it's going to choose the craft event, and what you're going to be able to do is trade those ominous particles for a Dark Domain costume box. This is just one for 5,000 ominous particles, so you can tell that that's probably going to cost all of them. Now the really big thing here is that this is going to cost you 50 sin particles, so if you haven't been saving them up, that's going to be a big deal. But sin particles, you're also going to be able to craft costume draw tickets, training time tickets, and alpha supply box as well. So you can see the costume draw ticket is probably going to be the biggest one that you probably want to go for. I don't know very many characters in the game that are actually using Dark Domain sets in terms of like actually being the viable, feasible set. So I don't see a lot of people jumping at this one automatically. But if you're playing a different class, let me know. I just don't know of any that's the best in class, you know, best in slot kind of item for them. Alpha supply box, why the hell would you even waste your time with those? And then the same thing for the training time tickets. Yeah, I don't know. And so the costume draw ticket is pretty much for me the big one here. You know, the only sucky part about it is let's jump inside the Marvel Mall. So we still have the costume draw, Hydra Empire and Xanderf, I believe it is. What was it? Hydra Empire and Dark Domain. It's still the event rewards here, which is a little funny, right? Because they're going to give away a Dark Domain box for Region costume box, and you still have the Dark Domain inside the set here for two more days, I think it is. Yeah, this event goes on for 2 more days, so today and tomorrow. So jump in on that. There are no Omega card or companion or you know, special events, festival events going on. We haven't had a Omega card festival in quite some time now, so I'm like, when's that coming? So like, we haven't had those. So those are all the events that are going on. Let's take a look at some of the Marvel Mall updates because I want to address some of these immediately. Oh, and by the way, just so you guys know, that there is going to be a push event where we're going to be giving ominous particles, 200 daily ominous particles along with 5 sim particles are going to be delivered every day from the 17th through the 25th. So make sure that you're logging in for those events and that you're collecting those particles as well. So don't forget about that. Okay, guys, don't forget also that now inside the consumables, right, there's a draw ticket supply box. It's going to be daily free for every day until the 25th, I think it was. Yeah, until the 25th. So make sure that you're logging in to get this draw ticket supply box, and you can see it's for costume omega cards and dimension box, and companion summon tickets can be acquired at a certain rate. So make sure you're going in there, that you're purchasing that. We still have our daily free squads inside there, your raid tickets and everything else like that. I used a whole bunch of gold this month or this week to try to re-roll a card. Man, that transmutation thing is just, the more and more you get into it, the more and more bullshit it becomes. It just is, guys. I don't know what to say about it. But then we also have some new bundles inside the shop, and this is one of the things I want to highlight really quickly to you guys. The Dark Domain Part 2 preparation bundle is how we basically, you know, other than the patch notes, you know, the notes that we know they're basically coming, and you can see you basically have Dormammu's treasure box. If you guys remember that was there. It's another way to collect the Dark Domain sets if you want to try to roll from there, along with some of the Dark Domain cards. I wouldn't necessarily be jumping for joy at that, especially it'd been nice if they just didn't include the old costumes, but they did. So it's just like, then the thing that pisses me off the most about these is that they're including training time tickets in here, as if those have value. They only have value because you shafted us on on the way that we need to level up our characters from 103 to 110. These have no value if you didn't shaft us. So like, I hate seeing that in there, because now they're basically using these as, like, you know, bonus rewards that come with these, but they're supposed to add to the value of the pack. But there is no value, really. The value here is specifically that you guys pulled an okie doke. You took away the easy way for us to, you know, or the easiest way for us to level up our characters from 103 to 110 in Dark Zone, and you put them inside here. That's not to say Dark Zone should exist for that purpose at all. It shouldn't exist at all, in my opinion, but you know, neither here nor there. The Omega supply box, the next thing that they have inside here is they've redone the monthly companion summon bundles, the dimension box bundles, the monthly card draw bundles, the monthly costume draw bundles. The main thing that I want to point out to you guys, like you can see even inside here, they got the 2022 monthly premium bundle inside here, so you can get a 6-star core box, 5450 crystals, 5500 crystals, companion summon time train. Sometimes I hate these bundles. Like, the price on these is just ridiculous. The core is cool, but you don't know what core you're gonna get, and that's the problem with these core boxes, because you could end up with HP recovery, you could end up with yellows, you could end up with like cores that you really don't freaking want or need. Yeah, and again, the training time tickets are bundled inside here. But now what I really want to point out to you guys is these crystal bundles over here. So there's 3 of them inside here. There's a 10,000, 5,000, and a 3,000 crystal supply bundle. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys, where were these bundles to begin with inside the normal charge shop? These are what the prices should have been inside the normal supply shop. You can see here, $90 basically equals 10,000 crystal supply. I've always, you know, arbitrated for dollar to crystal value ratio, so that way players aren't getting okie doked. Especially in this game, it's really easy to pull the okie doke on them. So basically here for $90 you're being able to collect 10,000 crystals, for $50 5,000 crystals, and for $30 3,000 crystals. This just makes sense. This is what it should basically be inside the shop. That's all it is, and that's the way it should remain. So those are all the things that are currently going on inside the game right now. I don't really think that anything else in here is worth it. I was expecting that they were going to push out some more, like, you know, some more actual packs or some festival events or something like that, but I'm assuming that we're gonna wait till the actual Dark Domain is part 2 is released. Maybe that's gonna happen next week. I was hoping to see some kind of road mapping, maybe, you know, to have that inside there, but nothing in the meantime. So you guys basically have to stick with that stuff until then. The main thing that this is coming across as is that, especially with those bundles, I feel like those bundles are like a dip in the water, you know, like to see where the player base is at in terms of monetization. I really am dying to see the Q4 numbers overall, to see what the sales purchases in this game have been, because I really feel like what they've pushed inside the Marvel Mall and what they're pushing by, you know, the giveaway items that they're doing that they weren't doing in the beginning, is trying to make up ground there, because we just seen, you know, that these games are not, you know, they can close. So we saw that Marvel Realm of Champions just recently shuttered its doors, and you know, it's going to basically shut down in March. And if the game's not successful, the game's not successful. So we're gonna have to see what happens in Q4. We've seen that the player count numbers are not that great. We're talking about 72,000 to 70 to 100,000 players overall. We'd have to see what the Q4 numbers look like to see how that's panning out for them. We're talking about this game is being put up against, you know, games like Marvel Future Fight, Marvel Contest of Champions, and you know, and then in its category, games like Genshin Impact, Punishing Ravens, and you know, Seven Knights and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how it pans out. Ultimately, I would tell you guys, like I've told you guys plenty of times before, vote with your wallet. If you don't like something in this game, stop paying for bullshit. Stop like getting into, you know, and look, I know you're gonna look at these crystals and stuff like that up there or whatever. Still, trust me, don't do it. Like, none of the shit's worth it. I can tell you that right now. Like, those crystals are just being stacked up because there's nothing in the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So looking forward to bringing you guys more content in the new year. Until next time, peace.